Steve Morris Engines. This is an engine that we just got done with for Bill Cole out of Maryland, and this is something that him and his guys were struggling with this thing, Steve and Wayne, and just hurting parts all the time. And so they originally brought it to me to help with dynoing, to help with the tune. So put it on dyno, started working on a tune, and this motor, well, let me give you a little rundown on it. 454 cubic inch, LS based, Noonan billet block. This has a set of Moses heads on it from Mast, and had a F1X12 and a F3 121 on it. Daily dry sump pan. You know, it had good pieces on there, Marcel manifold, whatnot. Anyways, it had good pieces on there, but we ran this thing with the F1X12, and this thing only made 1,850 horsepower. Methanol, Fuel Tech EFI, coil. It has a FT spark. Steve brought this all over with me for me, all wired up, which was nice, so I didn't have to screw around with spending a day wiring it. And anyway, so we ran this thing, and this thing is just not making any horsepower. So immediately found some things wrong with it that I would change, that I would do differently. And so they decided they were going to leave it here, and so we tore into it and we found just a couple little things. So it wasn't, you know, anything significant, but we wanted to change the piston package, change camshaft package for sure. One of the other things that we did on this is this thing had 500 plus pounds of seat pressure and way over 1,200 over the nose. Way too much spring pressure for what this needs. All that thing does is just rob horsepower. Not needed. So I decreased that, matched our camshaft profile in it, because the camshaft that was in it was too big, to tell you the truth. And so we fixed all those things, put our piston package in it, just make this thing better. Went through and did touch up a little bit of the machine work and just made things nice again. And let's see here. Let's see, methanol, F3. So we're going to run this two different blowers. So I'm going to show you, I think we'll just run it with the 121 for the video, but I'll show you the numbers after we do the F1X12 and the 121 combined together. So I think we've already run the F1X12, and this is like stellarly better than what it was before. And it picked up 5 pounds of boost too, which is one reason why it's way better. So same gear set, everything is the same. Did not change anything. Okay, just changed my internal components, and this thing just picked up over 300 horsepower, well, almost 300 horsepower. So you'll see that it's pretty impressive. And I think actually, I think I probably fixed something I didn't even know was wrong. So I guess I'll keep on thinking about that, of why this thing picked up. Normally it wouldn't pick up quite that much. But pretty common for, you know, our combinations and stuff. And then we keep on working on the tune. We keep on making things better. And you know, we do a lot of this kind of tune work for Fuel Tech and Holly, in particular those two, and those are, you know, two of our favorites right now. So anyways, we're gonna go out. We're gonna make a couple pulls on this thing. We'll look at the numbers, and I'll show you what's going on with this thing. Alright, now let's look at the numbers. In fact, let me turn the fan off. Alright. Now again, this is with the 121 blower, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay this and show you what the F1X12, same gear ratio set, everything in it. But this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So as you can see here, we're still climbing up here. Peak torque is right in this area here, so but it's getting real gradual, and we pretty much have they're just running this thing to 8,000 RPM. You could run this more, but I don't think we're going to need to, and clearly it's probably, you know, going to make probably make maybe upwards of 2,600 total. But I'm happy with where it's at. The tune-up is looking good. Everything looks real good on this thing, so we're gonna do a lash and leak down, and probably even pull the heads off it to just verify head gaskets are hanging in there. Everything looks good, but there's no blow-by on it, real minimal. Everything looks real good there. So let's go over some of these numbers here, and then we'll download the data log out of the Fuel Tech, and I'll show you that real quick too. But as you can see here, 7,900 RPM. 2565, and it's making a fair amount of boost. Don't have any doubt about that. I'll show you what that's making in the data logger in the Fuel Tech. 7,500 is 2431, 7,000 is 2214, 6,000 is 1691, and we'll go all the way down to, oh, let's see here, 4,500 is 991.59. So real good stout piece. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you the difference in between this and the F1X12. Now the F1X12 made a peak boost of 38 pounds of boost, and I'll show you this here real quick. Nope, wrong one. Let's see, graph, there we go. And we'll do a little history log here. So I don't want that one, this one. Now, you can see right through here, isn't it interesting? And this is exactly what these things do. This is why F1Xs or F1X12s are a real good blower, but they're limited, and this is exactly what they do right here. So this thing is making 38 pounds of boost right here, and made peak horsepower at 7,300. I'll show you that graph in a second. And the F1, or I'm sorry, the F3 121 continues to climb. What happens is the blower goes into choke, i.e., blower's too small for the motor. Period. Now you can throw a, you know, and this is only 430-ish cubic inch motor, so imagine this thing on 540 cubic inch motor, something like that. So anyways, that's the way these things work exactly. That is probably one of the best illustrations of bigger blower, smaller blower. Too small a blower for how big the motor is, how good, how efficient the blower is, the right blower for the combination. But still, this number here will show you. And I couldn't go back and get my old graph, but let's take a look at that real quick. When this engine originally came in, when it had some problems, this thing made 1850. Same gear set, same blower, same head, same block. It's my combination. Went through and fixed some things, the camshaft, piston and rod, and then continue on with the tune-up, and now we're at and actually this tune-up is very similar, especially timing wise. It's the same. We're actually about 2 degrees shorter on timing than what it was when it was making 1850. So this thing is really good, but it picked up 5 pounds of boost with my camshaft design, and probably I didn't do, when we tore it apart, I probably actually fixed something that I didn't even know was wrong with it because I didn't notice it being wrong. But I think it's very possible. It's no dig at anybody, but I think maybe the camshaft wasn't in quite right the first time, or something was going on, because it's pretty rare that camshaft change, piston change is going to net you 300 horsepower and pick up 5 pounds of boost. That's a pretty rare deal. But anyways, that thing with the F1X12 is 2134. Looks beautiful, looks nice, everything looks cool, until, I mean, this is a good looking graph. I'm happy with this thing. And I know that this thing lays over right in this range because it's too small a blower. But when you compare that to the 131, and then all of a sudden this thing changes your mind on what a good graph looks like. Horsepower, horsepower. So anyways, let's go over here and I'll show you how much boost this thing's making. I'll download this data log. Give me just 1 second, and I'll show you this just a little bit. That's a secondary injector map on this, and you know, we're just working on fixing tune-up. Like I said earlier, you know, this is why Bill and the guys brought this thing over, was because they're just struggling with it and hurting parts, and so we get into it and make things better. Let's download. That's an old log here. Nope. Oops. There we go. We'll download this and I'll show you. They have a real nice data logger system too, so I mean, I like how the system works and everything. It's nice. You can see here, these are all 802s. And this 102 here, not really worried about it because I keep on doing plug reads on it and EGT, and I threw a new 02 in it, and it just reads cold, but it's a cylinder that we're kind of trying, that they've hurt continuously in the past. So, you know, right through here, right up at that 8,000 RPM mark. Let's see where we at here. Why did that do that here? Oh, you know what? That thing cut short. Must have had it running just for 20 seconds because it just cut short right there at 7,700. Pretty much close enough. But we're at 45 pounds of boost, so this thing is probably making 40. Probably making. There's 45 there. It's probably making like 47 pounds of boost or so. But anyways, I think Bill is gonna have some real good outings with this, and I think everything's looking really good. I think we fixed some issues, some problems, and clearly it's making a buttload more power. So anyways, I'm Steve Morris, Steve Morris Engines. Have a great day.